but I was like, I'm still going to be lugging all my shit and setting up a tent. I'm paying $1,000 to fucking sleep in a tent. Like, that's what you know what I mean? In my brain, I was like, I can't justify that. Hey guys, welcome back to Rave Culture Cast, your weekly guide to the EDM community, music festivals, and more. I am your host, Emma Capotis. What is up? Welcome to our community fam. Today, we have a doozy of an episode for you, and probably a topic that a lot of you guys feel deeply and it stings, but we're going to be talking about why festivals are so fucking expensive in 2023 and 2024. Costs are going up. Why? What is the justification of that? Like, what is causing the rise in tickets? I wanted to do a deep dive on this. This was actually inspired by my friend Peyton. He was like, you should definitely talk about this on your podcast. So I did some research. I've got some opinions. I tapped into some of my industry friends who will remain anonymous and asked them from their inside knowledge what is going on. So we're going to talk about it today, and hopefully this will provide some answers and clarification. But before we do that, I got an unboxing here from one of our sponsors, Loop Earplugs. I got 2 new Loop Earplugs, which I'm super pumped about. This packaging looks fire. By the way, these are very silver themed. So I got the Experience again, which is my favorite. This one's great for festivals, concerts. This one reduces noise by 18 decibels. And they fit great. So you always get your little package in here with your earplugs in the middle. You've got 3 interchangeable tips. These are all clear. I actually really like those. I wanted to get different colors than what I have. And sometimes I have a tendency of giving out earplugs to my friends. Oh, look how fire these are. I don't know if that's gonna, there we go. If you're watching on YouTube, I tried to get that. These are like chrome. These look so fucking sick. These are silver. I wanted something different because I have gold, I have black, I have bright colors, but that is fucking sick. Okay, I got the chrome ones, and then these are clear. These are the Engage. So the Engage is slightly different. This allows you to hear conversations better. So it still protects your hearing, but it allows just like if people are talking next to you, you can hear them better. So sometimes I like these if I'm going to hang towards the back, or if I'm not up all the way in the front or against the rail or something like that. And I just want to have these in so I'm not residually getting damage to my hearing. Ooh, these are sick too. These are clear. Oh, I hope my camera focuses on that. These are clear. These are sick. These are really nice. You just pop them in your ear and twist them. So I want to shout them out. My discount code is LoopXRaveCulture. LoopXRaveCulture. That will save you guys a discount. I believe it's 10% off, but could not recommend them anymore. They have so many colors, options. They have their quiet earplugs, which are great for sleeping in or traveling. So let's shout them out. Let's get that out of the way. We love you, Loop Earplugs. All the links will be down below. All right, I do have a little bit of a longer intro. I have some life and festival updates for you before we get into the information, and it's been a minute since we've just chatted. So let's talk. This weekend is Beyond Wonderland. I am going. Fuck yes. I'm so excited. I'm going. It is my first Beyond Wonderland. It is my first SoCal rave or festival. I hope to see you guys there. If you are my SoCal fam or anywhere on the West Coast and I haven't had a chance to meet you in the last 7+ years I've been doing this, I would absolutely love to see you there. So a couple quick announcements. I am going out there with Beatbox this time. We have a massive activation. So I'm going to be working for Beatbox. We've got so much going on. I'm going to be filming content for us. We have our own, so we have our Beat Bus, which is part of our activation, but we also have the Boombox Art Car is debuting at Beyond Wonderland. It is now the Beatbox Art Car, and it has its own lineup, and it's a little mini art car stage. So I will be spending a lot of fucking time there as well. So come see us. We are having a fan meetup that I am hosting. So if you actually want to know where I am at what time, Saturday, 7:30 p.m., come to the Beat Bus, our main activation. Saturday, 7:30 p.m. Please come out, come say hi. We're going to be sampling our hard tea flavors. We'll have swag, all kinds of fun stuff. Take a group picture. So please come out and say hi to me. Otherwise, if you see me throughout the weekend, stop me, say hi. I love meeting you guys. Don't be nervous. Please come and say hi to me. So that's going on. Super excited about that. Other major fucking announcement is I am going to be going to EDC Las Vegas this year, which brings me so much joy. But similarly, I'm going out with Beatbox, which this is why it's my dream job. I get to go out as the community manager and travel and do some really cool things. So we have EDC Vegas is our biggest festival of the year. We have so much planned. We need all hands on deck for it. So I'm going out for EDC Las Vegas this year. yeah, I'll keep you guys posted on all the plans, but we'll obviously have a fam meetup there that I'll be hosting. The other thing I want to mention is like when I'm going out for work, I don't feel comfortable having like an Emma Capotis or like a Rave Culture Cast meetup because I am there for work. So it feels weird to like promote my own personal meetup and not beatboxes, you know what I mean? So that's why I'm going to host the beatbox ones anyway. So please just come out and support my job. I really appreciate it. And come say hi. And we have so many fun fucking things going on. So it's cool that we're like super intertwined into the rave community. But anyways, that's the other announcement. I will be at EDC Las Vegas. So fucking pumped. Cannot wait to be under the electric sky. Like once they did the lineup announcement, I was like, I'm absolutely going this year. Like it has to happen. I'm not doing camp. I'm going to be staying on the strip for sure with the rest of the staff. So that's that. I'll also be at Project Glow on Saturday. So if you guys are going to be out there, that is for fun. So I will do a Rave Culture Cast meetup at Project Glow on Saturday. Once we have the set times, it'll probably be earlier in the day. Okay. Last major announcement. This is a really fucking big one. This is a long time coming. And I'm just putting it out there in the universe. I've delayed this. I've put this off and it just needs to happen because it's something that honestly, I have a problem asking for help. And I'm just going to put this out in the universe. I want to expand the Rave Culture Cast team. It's something I've wanted to do for a really long time. And, you know, as I get older, as my life changes, as I go through changes, like I need to acknowledge that like I can't always be the person on camera. And I like to be a one-woman show. And it's really hard for me to ask people for help or to relinquish control because I'm a fucking control freak. But I love this community so much. And it's my mission to help educate and entertain other ravers and festival goers and make them feel included in this community and leave this place a better place if they found it. So I am opening a new program. And if you guys are creators or influencers and you want to be a part of it, I'm going to be opening applications this week. So when this episode comes out, it will be live in our Linktree, like our Beacons profile. I'll link it here in the episode as well, but we are going to be accepting Rave Culture Cast contributors. So if you guys want to work with me and you want your content put out there in the world, essentially what it is, I'll read a little bit about the program. If you guys want to help me on this mission, if you love Rave Culture Cast, if you love this community and you want to connect with other people over, you know, our common interests and, you know, just expand the dance music space, you're going to be doing just that. So you're going to be creating social media content for Rave Culture Cast. I'm going to help amplify your voice, your personality, your platform. So essentially you will be posting or, you know, we'll be working together on content. I will be here to help you navigate the industry. I will be providing mentorship for you guys. And yeah, we'll share posts as collaborative posts on Instagram because I love that feature. So I will have every credit and tag back to you. It will be a collab post with your profile because I want your profiles to grow as well. And then they'll also be posted on the Rave Culture Cast TikTok. So you will be a direct contributor and these are all the perks of the program. Obviously access to our community of creatives. So this is going to be a very small like beta program to start, like probably only 4 to 6 creators, just that because that's a manageable number for me just to see how this all goes. So I have a Discord channel for our community. We'll have private channels for you guys, my contributors. Obviously I will mentor you. I will help you grow your content. We'll pitch ideas back and forth to each other. I will cross promote them all on the Rave Culture Cast pages. And then of course, like networking opportunities, media opportunities, access to free tickets to events and festivals. Like I get media passes, I get guest lists, and I can't go to everything myself. So a lot of the times I don't even use them. So if you are a trusted contributor, I want to be able to give those tickets to you to go create Rave Culture Cast content for us. And I've seen other platforms I've looked up to like EDM Maniac. We had Devin on, like they've done such a good job doing this. So other platforms, you know, Global Dance is another one who have contributors on. It's not just one person, and that's what this needs to be. You know what I mean? We need to grow. We need to scale. I need to just trust other people to do that. And there's so many voices out there that are fucking incredible, and I want to help you guys grow. So those are all the things. And of course, opportunities to create content for us on site at events, you know, doing interviews for me, things like that. So that is everything, you guys. The next step, like I said, the application is open. You know, I am looking for creators a little bit further along in their journey. You don't have to have like an X amount of followers or anything like that, but just a profile that clearly like you've been posting video content, you have a portfolio that supports that, you've been making content that I think is educational and fun and positive, like all the things we are. So this will all be listed in the application. I'm going on and on. But anyways, I'm going to post that. We'll keep it open for a little while. Then I'll close it. I'll review all the applications and get started with the first few people. If you don't hear from me the first round, or if it doesn't work out the first round, I will for sure want to grow and scale this program. So there will be other opportunities for us to do things together. Anyways, I can't believe I just said that and got that out there in the universe. You have no idea how long I wanted to do this. And I know it's been something important, but the timing never felt right. And like right now, I'm just like, no, we need to do this. Like it feels very aligned, and it feels very much like Rave Culture Cast is ready to grow in this direction. I'm so excited to work with other creatives in this space. So that is everything. Let's dive into today's episode now, you guys. So as I mentioned, we are going to be talking about the rising cost of festival tickets in the United States. I'm going to talk a little bit about abroad as well, but I'm first going to go into my personal assumptions. So before I did all this research, what I assume is causing the rise in costs. Then I'm going to talk about some of the research I've pulled from different articles online. And then obviously at the end, I'll talk about the input from the industry professionals that I spoke to who cover a variety of roles in the industry, and I'm going to give their 2 cents as well. So that's kind of everything. Like I mentioned, this episode kind of came about because I could just see, I'm in every single Facebook group, all the things. Like I see people's frustration when major festivals post their tickets and they're super expensive, and this hobby is getting more and more expensive. And I just wanted to like understand why, because I see the other side as well. Like I am also on the team of the event producers and the promoters. Like they need to make a living as well. We didn't have live events for a year and a half. Like I want to justify for them as well why the cost is so much, especially if they're a smaller like boutique festival. But I think the main thing is like, unfortunately, it's going in a direction where people can attend less and less events. So they have to pick and choose what they want to do. So they might only do like 1 or 2 major festivals. And some of these events, when I was doing research, cost just as much as events abroad. Like you could fly to Europe and do a festival for the same cost as some of these festivals in the US, which is kind of fucking bananas when you think about that. And this was a quote from an article on Mixmag. I'm going to link all my resources below as well if you guys want to like read all these articles. But it says, but industry-wide, this seems to be the crux. With people having less money overall, it doesn't mean that they aren't going to stop going to festivals altogether, but perhaps choose one big blowout in the summer to focus all their energies and financial resources on. Instead of going to a range of different festivals across a few months, some big and some small, the feeling is that festival goers will choose one big experience like a Glastonbury or a Boomtown to fill their quotas. So obviously this was an article from the UK. I do think that that is accurate. I think that some people will put all their time and money into festivals and still attend as many as they can, or they'll do a lot of like local events or local shows and then do big blowout festivals. And other people might get free tickets. That's the other thing. Like, I don't want you guys to get FOMO or look at creators even like myself and how much we travel. Like, I don't pay for festivals anymore, which is knock on wood the fucking dream. And this is what I've worked so hard for. I'm an Insomniac affiliate, so I get tickets through Insomniac. I get tickets through Beatbox, or I apply for media. So I haven't paid for a festival ticket in a while. It depends. Like Electric Forest, I paid for my own ticket, but then I got accepted into the creator program. I'm trying to think unless I'm like completely not working with the festival and I don't apply for anything. But yeah, so like there are ways that like people are affording to go to these tickets or going to these festivals, and that's why they go to a million of them, because they're not paying for their tickets, and even in the best case scenario, they're not paying for their travel either. So don't compare yourself to other people and how they're figuring it out. And that stuff is also like completely possible for you to do one day as well, and that's why I'm opening this creator program. This was another thing I saw, this was from one thing I was thinking about. The other big thing is I feel like we're going to see less diverse audiences, which is like the complete opposite of what rave culture is. It is inclusive, and we are seeing all different types of people. But if things keep getting more expensive, that's going to weed out people who wouldn't be able to afford festivals. And we don't want an audience of everyone who looks exactly the same from the same level of income. That seems crazy to me. So the assumptions I want to make, or where I want to start from, just speaking from my personal experience, I personally started changing my habits around buying tickets in June 2022. I remember it. I went to the Chris Lake show at the Brooklyn Mirage, and after dealing with that crowd, I was like, no ma'am, don't want to do that again. It was fucking horrendous. I had a great time. That was one of the best sets of Chris Lake I've ever seen in my life. I stayed almost till close. It was so packed. And as you know, this has been a trend with the Mirage since then. And a lot of people are like boycotting them right now. I just realized like it just wasn't for me. I was kind of like going through life changes anyway, but the combination of how packed it was, how tired I was leaving shows at 4 a.m, how expensive the night is, buying all these drinks, like it was a lot. And I will say like those habits have really stayed true till now. Obviously I, was married, I had a baby, my life has like drastically changed, but in general, I think I would have cut back anyway on shows. And now I pick and choose what I think is worth it. I'm not really drinking as much when I go out. A lot of the times it's for work or I'm driving into the city. So that also plays into it. It's like, okay, if I'm going to go out for the night, drive, be completely exhausted, which means I'm going to be tired to take care of my son the next day. Like that's like all stuff I have to weigh. So that's why I'd almost rather go away for a festival weekend than just like go pop into the city or Brooklyn for a show. So I personally just cut back just because my habits have changed, and honestly, I just was tired of being tired and being packed in like a sardine. So there are other venues I really like Elsewhere is a really cool venue, and I know like Knockdown Center is getting a lot of love right now. I know Tech Support is doing like all kinds of crazy shit at like the Brooklyn Naval Yard. So I definitely want to explore. But for me, I will say it kind of like all started to change in June 2022. The cost of the tickets wasn't affecting me as much as the experience was personally. So one thing this stems from, I'm going to pull up some Reddit links because I think just seeing conversations online, like I know Lost Lands was one that a lot of people were talking about. Electric Forest, obviously a lot of people were chattering about that at the end of the fall. There was this Reddit post because I wanted to kind of get like a price comparison. So I will link this one as well. This person did VIP in 2020. I guess that's when they purchased it, 2022 and 2023. So all in 2020, they did the loyalty program, which got them $25 off their ticket. Their total ticket for VIP and a parking pass was $872. In 2022, same thing, loyalty program got a little bit of a discount. Their VIP ticket and overnight parking pass was $1,109. And this past year in 2023, their whole ticket was $1,348. So it went from $872 to $1,348 in 3 years. Obviously, pretty crazy for VIP tickets. I know I have heard from people saying that Lost Lands, like obviously the production, the camping experience, like they could see changes last year that clearly reflected a higher cost, which is great. We want to see that. Like if you're going to be spending more money, you want to see the festival getting better. So that's a good thing. And then for Forest this year, this was the GA camping wristband. The base price was $520. And again, this is 4 days. So it's not a 3-day festival. It's 4 days of music. And that includes your camping pass. Total with fees was $601 for a GA camping wristband. Now again, maybe I'm not the best person to talk to because I fucking loved Forest. And like for me, I would pay every single cent of that for that experience. However, this is the base price. So $600 to do GA camping, which I'm not even sure if that's like tent only, but I don't know if I think that's a base. I don't even think that's a single wristband. I don't even think that's like elevated glamping or anything like that. If you did Camp Higher Love, which is a step above that, total with fees was $839. Maplewoods camping, which was also a preset camping, $989. Same for Lucky Lake camping. And then if you did Good Life Village, which this is what I was currently looking at, I'm not going to Forest this year because like plans just fell apart. But price did play a factor in that as well. I wanted to do Good Life this year. I just was like, we were going to do RVs because I just didn't want to pay Good Life pricing, which was $1,077 starting rate plus to bring my tent. I was like, am I really going to pay $1,000 to, yes, like you get the VIP amenities and things like that, but I was like, I'm still going to be lugging all my shit and setting up a tent. I'm paying $1,000 to fucking sleep in a tent. Like that's what you know what I mean? In my brain, I was like, I can't justify that. Again, still amazing experience. I love the festival, but I was like, I would rather pay like $1,300, I think it was, to do the bungalow camping, because then at least like my bedding, everything's provided. And that's when I went down the rabbit hole of looking at Tomorrowland tickets, because I was like, for this cost, I might as well go to fucking Tomorrowland. So then I pull up the Tomorrowland glamping, and the Tomorrowland glamping global journey package, if I'm remembering correctly, which included my I don't think it included the flight to Amsterdam, but it included like your train from Amsterdam to Tomorrowland, the 4 days of camping, a preset tent, like all of that VIP was included, and it was the same price as the Electric Forest experience. Like, yes, I had to buy my flight on top of it, I believe. I don't think it was included, but I was like, would I rather go to Tomorrowland and do that, or pay the same thing, bring all my camping gear and go to Forest? Like, I just wanted to throw that out there, because it was just crazy to see like the cost of going to a festival in the United States. So anyways, that's kind of like where this all stemmed from, because I've seen the conversations about like rising ticket costs. So anyway, sorry, I just popped off on that. The other thing I want to throw out there, why I think it's important to talk about this, is because we are seeing a change in purchasing patterns. So, you know, Coachella, one of them, Coachella saw some of their slowest ticket sales since 2011. This is according to EDM Identity. I believe, I don't know if both weekends are sold out or just weekend one, but it took like a couple weeks to sell out, which never used to happen. It was like an instant sellout, so that was interesting. And then Electric Forest, same thing. It's still sold out day of, which is crazy, but usually it sells out instantly. Like when GA passes go on sale on Friday, it's like gone in 30 minutes. It didn't happen this year. It was like very end of the day, like later at night, it finally sold out. So I know that's like still fast, but like you can tell people slowed down a little bit with their purchasing. And then the other thing is we've seen some festivals not returning this year, which is always sad to see. Some of them are coming back, but Firefly, Sunset Music Festival, and Okeechobee are three off the top of my head that aren't coming back. So you are seeing some of these festivals that are not owned by Insomniac or AEG or these bigger companies kind of like struggling to return year after year. And I really think COVID just fucked a lot of companies, which sucks. But not only that, like smaller artists and touring musicians are really having trouble with tours right now as well. It's like it's very expensive to put tours together and to travel abroad. So I wrote down what I think this means for festivals. Like if you're a festival organizer watching this, you're working in the live events industry, this is what I think you need to do with your experiences. I think you need to curate a really well-rounded experience. I think fans want more than just like a parking lot with some production and like woot woot excited party vibes. Like I think you need to elevate it a little bit more. We want art installations. We want great food vendors. I want to be able to have like interactive experiences. Like production is great. A couple stages would, be nice. I totally understand if it's a smaller festival, but really cool production would be great. Also, I would say like workshops, like experiences outside of it. And this, maybe doesn't apply to city festivals right now, but even if they could include things like that, like I fucking love the experience of camping festivals now, because even at Okeechobee, I did like a yoga class. I got my tarot cards read. Like there were just so many things to do outside the festival that I feel like enriched me as a person. And I just really loved having like all these other things that I could learn something new or I could experience something new. So I think creating a really well-rounded experience is things that people are going to start going more towards those events. Expectations from fans are higher. So you need to bring it with your amenities, your lineup, all of that. Like how you treat your fans. What is the transportation like? Is it easy for them to get in and out of the festival? Is it safe? How are the bathrooms? Is everything being cleaned up? Do you have a sustainability program? Like I think these are things that fans really fucking care about now. And I think it's important that those are taken seriously by the festivals. Not having the same old lineup every time. Like we want to see new artists. We want to see other genres explored. We don't want to see the same recycled lineup. I don't want to see white men all over the fucking lineup. I want to see women. I want to see people of color. Like we want to see a well-rounded lineup with interesting artists, things we haven't heard before, not the same freaking 3 headliners we've seen. I understand they sell the tickets, but there's so much talent that you can have plenty of room to put in your lineup or your undercard. So we need to see better lineups. And then other than that, I said they need to mix it up just because people will get bored of going to the same events year over year. Like I know I do a lot of repeated events, but I want to start doing more and more new things. Like Groove Cruise was new for me this year. Hopefully in the fall, I'll do some new ones. Like I'm going to have to see how traveling goes. It just worked out. Beyond Wonderland is new for me, so I'm excited for that. So I want to check off new festivals personally. And then getting into speculation on why I think ticket costs were rising. So just in general, I wrote down life is more expensive, like inflation, my groceries are crazy, like things are just getting more expensive across the board. So I think like naturally that's reflected in so many different industries, and it's clearly affecting ticket costs. Like I've mentioned a couple times, the pandemic, I think that in our industry in particular, like I think we're still feeling it, right? Like it still was happening from 2021 into 2022. So we didn't have events for a year and a half. A lot of companies, again, didn't return. Some of them took years off. Some people had to, great companies refunded all of the tickets as they should have, or they held on to tickets and then they had the festival and it was the same lineup that was booked 2 years ago and it was rolling over. So like there was just so much chaos that happened, like coming back from the pandemic. That was a lot. And I think a lot of people didn't recover from that or are still like feeling that, because but like I'll use Ultra, for example. I was going to go to Ultra in 2020 when the world closed 2 weeks before Ultra. And I think I held on to my ticket and I didn't know if I should choose 2021 or 2022 at the time, but I moved it over to 2022. And like, again, they had to roll over tickets for 2 years. That's crazy. Like, you know what I mean? So a lot of companies were out of a lot of money. I think cost of the show obviously is more expensive. So labor and materials, I don't know as much about that, but I would imagine like infrastructure is probably really fucking expensive nowadays. And again, like I said, expectations of production is much higher. So I think if you want that, it's going to cost money. Staffing, I just know from like friends and things like that, people had to change industries after COVID and lost their jobs and went into completely different fields. So I feel like it's probably harder to find good staff nowadays. Artist costs, same thing as I mentioned with touring musicians. The flights to Vegas are $1,000 round trip right now. I still haven't booked my flight. Like $1,000 to go from Newark to Las Vegas. I've never paid that in my life to go to again, I might as well fly to fucking Greece at this point. So, obviously artists, their tour managers, their staff all have to pay for flights, things like that. So artist costs are going to go up. And then better production, like I mentioned. So, I've just popped off a lot at you guys, but that is kind of everything I would probably say in the topic. So now I want to get into a little bit about what the experts are saying. But first, of course, I want to plug some events. So if you guys need tickets to any of the following festivals, again, I'm going to be at Project Glow, so I hope to see you there, and I'll be at Beyond Wonderland, and I think there are still Beyond tickets left, so I'm going to leave all my Insomniac ticket links below if you want to purchase through me. I appreciate it so much. I have Beyond Wonderland SoCal, I have Project Glow, I have Day Trip, and then I think I have Beyond at the Beyond Wonderland Chicago as well. Yes. So all my Insomniac affiliate links will be linked down below. All right, with that being said, let's dive into, like I said, some of these articles that I was reading. So this one was from Festival Insider, and it was talking about inflation. So it said, this is from somebody named Xander. It says, we started seeing the effects of inflation ripple across the board quite early, and it's been a cascade of events. Xander is the head operations for a Texas-based event production company called Prime. All festivals are underselling, not running, nor performing the way they used to. Insurance is up talent side because the systems cost more now. The cost for stage building, the materials, wood, metals has gone up as well. And the cost increases, these cost increases, unfortunately, do not get passed on to ticket buyers, which isn't ideal either because of the current economic strain. So again, more proof of inflation causing ticket prices to rise. This was an article on Vice talking about the cost of labor. It said, Valentine considers 2022 the most difficult year for festivals to date. Most of the experienced crew moved on over the pandemic, and now there's a real shortage of skilled and semi-skilled crew working on events because they can earn more elsewhere, and festivals are paying more just to get people on site. For example, before COVID, the starting rate for a semi-skilled worker who might have, a forklift license or rope accessing training was around 80 pounds. This year, Latitude were hiring people with no experience for 145 pounds per day. Again, like I mentioned, a lot of these articles were from the UK because the UK for the size has some of like the most densely packed amount of festivals. It's fucking crazy. So yeah, I think that falls right into the staffing issue. Like I know people who have moved on, and you'd be surprised. Like I think that's one of the craziest things I've like learned from working in this industry now and seeing the other side of it. Like staffing at festivals is crazy. They are so understaffed at a lot of these event companies. Like these people are hustling and working their fucking asses off and doing multiple jobs and probably not being paid enough. And a lot of them are contractors, so they're working for multiple companies or they have other jobs on the side. So staffing is like for real an issue within the music festival industry. This one was another article. This was the same article from Vice. This was talking about fuel. Fuel is another major cost, he adds. We're no longer allowed to use red diesel due to a ban, which doubled fuel prices overnight. The production manager was not able to provide exact figures, but says that Glastonbury's fuel bill has gone up from 6 to 7 figure sum. The industry makes big efforts to reduce the carbon footprint, but the fact is that biofuel just doesn't work in some equipment, and we really need reliability because we're powering the biggest city in Somerset with maternity wards, MRI scanners, and police stations, as well as stages. What this means for fans: attending less shows and saving up for the ones that are most meaningful. The shows you do attend will be extra special, higher expectations from fans, less toleration for BS, and possibly a chance for smaller, more boutique festivals that are more affordable to grow in popularity. For sure. And then competition. This was from Mix Mag. I thought this one was interesting. It says a lot of new events were launched in 2022, some by larger, more corporate promoters, but also some really interesting smaller grassroots festivals kicked off, which was great to see. I feel like people were motivated by what was hoped to be a post-COVID boom last year for events, even though that never quite materialized, says Leon Cole, co-founder of long-running small festival Field Maneuvers. I wouldn't say that there were too many events. I think it's great to increase the variety in the scene. It does seem like there are really loads of city festival type events now, which I don't really see as being the same type of experience as a 3 or 4 day camping event, but I guess they are competing for the attention of the same ticket buyers. So yeah, I definitely think this could play into it as well. Like I mentioned, we have like the big players in the United States who produce, so many different events here, but there's so many small festival organizers and boutique festivals. I discover some new ones all the time. Like I'll see on Instagram, like I feel like a lot of camping festivals, a lot of bass music festivals that are on the smaller side just pop up. So I do think like new things are popping up. And again, I think the competition, like yes, the lineup obviously is going to draw in a lot of people, but I do think the like experience and word of mouth and like FOMO that creates a lot of competition. And depending on the type of year as well, like I feel like sometimes it depends on the month. There can be a lot of competition. Like for instance, this weekend is Miami Music Week and also Beyond Wonderland. And literally everyone I talked to was going to one or the other. A lot of people going to Miami Music Week, but yeah, it depends on the month as well. And like for me, I have some friends going to Lightning in a Bottle or Hangout Music Festival, but Hangout is the same weekend as EDC, and or Movement Detroit, I wouldn't be able to swing Movement or Lightning in a Bottle because they're the weekend after EDC, and I made the choice to go to EDC. So again, like it's just, there is so much competition because there's so many things and you have to pick and choose what you can do. I've known so many people. I did it. I went to EDC Vegas and then I went to Electric Forest. Like, would I do that again this year? No, I'm not doing that again. It's too fucking expensive and I need time, time with my son. So I do think competition is an interesting thing to touch on here as well. All right. Before we get into industry responses, one more thing I want to plug in today's episode, you guys. I am still selling tickets to Groove Cruise 2025. I believe there's it's 91%, if not more than that, sold out. Very excited for the lineup to drop. I think that's probably going to be coming soon, which I'm pumped for, but I am completely hooked on Groove Cruise after going this year. It was fucking incredible. I loved every second of it. Next year, it's going to be on the Royal Caribbean Allure of the Seas, which is one of the biggest cruise ships ever, and it is the biggest cruise ship festival in history. I think it's 18 decks, 11 stages, absolutely massive festival. I'm so excited to be there. My whole crew rebooked and then some, everyone we told got rooms, so I'm super pumped about it. We have a discount code. It is Rave Culture Cast, all one word, no spaces, Rave Culture Cast. That will save you up to $200 off a quad, so $50 off per person per room. Rave Culture Cast, $50 off per person per room. Limited rooms are left at this point, you guys, so definitely go check it out. I will leave it linked below. But I hope you join us and come out. It was so fun. There's so many activities to do on board outside of all the sets. It's 96 hours of nonstop music, like literally every minute of the day. Through the sunrise, through the next morning, music is playing. So there's so much to do. All right. With that being said, let's dive into some of the industry responses because this is hearing it directly from their mouth. I also have a screenshot here. I thought this was interesting. I forgot I put this in here, but Halloween was doing like a little Q&A on their stories, and they kind of like threw in their input as well. So I wanted to share this. Somebody put in their Q&A, why so expensive? And they responded, festivals unfortunately are not immune to inflation. Every year it costs more for us to throw this party we all love so much. We do our very best to offer payment plan options and adjust prices where we can while trying to keep it as affordable as possible and still deliver the hula experience you've come to love and expect. Halloween is a special, unique, and intimate festival with a passion for art and immersive experiences you can't find at many other events. We will always strive to make it better and bring you new music and experiences we think you will love each year. So again, as mentioned, inflation. Okay, so this first insider said, hey, Emma, it's a very complicated numbers game right now that starts at the bottom. Rising costs for gas, water, transportation, and basic necessities ultimately raise the cost for staffing, flights, and hotels, thus raising the cost for artist fees, production, all the way up the ladder. This makes it extremely hard for event producers to scale ticket prices fairly for the fans while also trying to turn a profit. In this economic climate, it's up and down more than ever, and if you price too high, you can never turn back, which is very true. If you price too low and eventually need to go higher, you may price people out at the end and be in serious trouble. Simply put, people don't have a lot of money to go to multiple festivals or event per year, and at the moment, they pick and choose, and they put a lot of thought into it. So if your event doesn't stand out, it will most likely be overlooked, which brings us to the last point. You will need to spend a lot more money on forward-thinking production, enhanced audio and visual components, SFX, and so forth, which is extremely expensive. Short and sweet. I think that is such great fucking endpoint and gets straight to the point of it. And again, I really want to say thank you to my contributors here who sent in this input because they're in tough positions as well. And like I said, we go as fans and we enjoy the experience and everything that's put on. And we might talk about, make some criticisms and things that can be changed. But knowing the people on the other side, they are putting in so much hard work as well. And they are also trying to turn a profit and pay people fairly. So I do see both sides completely. And I know they're in a rock and a hard place. And we don't want any more of them to go away. So awesome input. This one's a little bit longer. This one says, the TLDR here is festival ticket prices come down to one thing, fake inflation. Ooh, starting hot. This is not just happening in the music festival space, but across all entertainment, such as sporting events. Economists call it funflation, and yes, that's a technical term for it. Think of it as your good times costing more while everything else inches up a bit slower. So let's talk numbers. Since 2019, while everyday prices, things like groceries and gas, measured by the Consumer Price Index, CPI, have gone up as a decent pace, music festivals have shot up at warp speed. It's like they're playing their tune way out of sync with the regular inflation rhythm. The CPI rose about 3.14% last year in total. That is the inflation you hear about from the news. From 2019 to 2023, CPI has jumped about 18%. Most of it coming from 21 to 2022 due to the pandemic's after effects. However, entertainment, festivals, concerts, sporting events have risen by 39% in that time. Sure, they'll tell you putting on festivals has become more expensive, labor costs have spiked, major artists are getting paid more, and making sure everything's safe and secure isn't cheap. Wakan Festival raised ticket prices 75% last year from 2022, and they cited increasing production costs. In 2022, Vibrate did an accounting of 281 festivals of all sizes. They show that the rise in ticket prices from 2019 brought in $3 billion more to the festivals analyzed. As long as fans keep shelling out the big bucks for those tickets, companies won't hit pause on jacking up the prices. See, there's a psychology at play here. We are still feeling the mental effects of the pandemic. Almost 2 years without entertainment, many still working remotely without social interaction, and a sense of FOMO that it could all go away again tomorrow. This has people wanting to do as many things as they can, even if it means opening up new credit cards or entering into payment plans to afford tickets. And people are doing exactly that. Almost all festivals offer a payment plan to attendees so they can afford the tickets in smaller chunks. People want to blame Live Nation and others, but they are just doing what a company does, making more money. The real blame is honestly on everyone for paying the prices. This goes for everything in an open market economy. If I sold you a gallon of milk for $2, you'd buy it. If I jacked up the prices to $20, you probably wouldn't. You'd search out an alternative like almond milk or no milk at all. It won't stop until companies find that most people will be It won't stop until companies find the most willing will be able to pay for the experiences. Electric Forest increased prices by 20 to 45% depending on the ticket type this year, and it's sold out to the general public in a day. So we haven't hit the ceiling yet in their eyes. The moment people stop buying tickets is the moment that organizers will stop raising prices. However, is it going to take the entire scene to band it together? He said, however, it is going to take the entire scene to band together. Our last economic principle we need to discuss is economy of scale. See, every organizer has this calculation in one way or another. They know what their break-even point is. How many tickets do they need to sell before they turn a profit? The second number in that sheet is how much profit at certain ticket prices. See, if I have a venue that holds 10,000 people and I sell tickets for $300, I make $3 million. Can I sell 7,500 tickets at $400 and make the same $3 million? So if last year my tickets were $300 and I raised them to $400, even if 25% of the fans boycott the change, I make the same amount of money. Actually, I probably turned a bit of a profit due to the decreased staff, infrastructure, and security costs of an event that's 25% smaller. I might lose some in alcohol sales, so we'll raise the cost of a beer or drink of the food by $2 to $3 to help offset that. If the loss in attendee volume is less than 25%, then I'm golden. Bottom line, those epic weekends and music festivals are costing us more and more thanks to a mix of funflation, rising operational expenses, and the relentless pursuit of profit by these entertainment giants. Unless we change our tune and demand more reasonably priced prices as an entire customer base, the trend of pricey festival tickets is here to stay. Whew. Absolutely fucking popped off on that one. Oh my God. Listen, now we're getting into the nitty gritty here. I mean, that was really fucking well said. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I think it goes to show, like if tickets are still selling out in a day, which we talked about before, then people really aren't batting an eyelash at the prices they're spending it in a day, right? So yeah, I do wonder that, like, if this is the baseline, kind of like the first quote said, it's not going to get any cheaper from here, right? Like, we've already raised them to this price and they continue to raise over year. So like, how high are they going to go until people stop going or just say like, absolutely not, I'm maxed out? I am curious what the limit is because I think we're getting pretty close to it. And it is pretty crazy. So enough people need to say, I'm not buying anymore, or this is like ridiculous. So that was really, really well said. And the last quote I have here, this one's short and sweet. It says, touring is expensive, especially for independent artists. Building an event is expensive. Considering the rising cost of fuel when thinking about tours and all the things it takes to bring a show to your local venue or to put on your favorite festival, and it makes sense that ticket fees are skyrocketing. Sorry, I had to burp. Sure, sometimes it's greed, but most of the time it's just that everything is getting more expensive at the exact same time that people are finally standing up to pay for fair pay to artists, event and entertainment industry workers, so naturally things must get more expensive. What festivals should focus on? This is another quote from a Festival Insider article. It says, at the end of the day, attendees are the lifeblood. It all starts with them. Maybe you don't have the finances to do something, but there are always ways to add personal touches to connect on a grassroots level with your community, said Euler. I think this is Jason Euler. I think the groups that really enhance their customer experience and make their sole focus, those are the ones who are going to survive this, and those are the ones who are going to come out better because of it following this economic downturn. Could not agree with you more on that. So to wrap things up, you guys, my final thoughts that I wrote down, I personally think, again, I'm going to go for unique experiences, things that I think really stand out, that I think justify the cost. So in the future, I would love to do Lightning in a Bottle. I would love to do Shambhala. I would love to do Halloween. A lot of these are camping festivals, but I think that's just kind of like the direction I'm going in. Or again, like I said, new experiences I haven't done yet, I think would be great. Electric Forest, I would love to go back to. So I think unique experiences, even internationally, Tomorrowland, Envision, BPM, SXM, and St. Martin. Like, I think I would just like to try some other experiences and international events. I think community enrichment, like Jason Euler was saying in this Festival Insider article, I think offering things like workshops, yoga, classes, like whatever it might be, the brainery that Electric Forest does, things that you can engage with outside the festival that are enriching for your soul, for your spirit, for your mind, for your body. I think that it's awesome when I see events having things like that, and I really appreciate those types of community initiatives and programs that they have. More diverse lineups. I think lineups that we don't see every day that are really exciting, especially at multi-genre festivals. I think those are really hard to curate because you are talking to so many different audiences and demographics. So more diverse lineups, I think. The little details and taking care of your fans, I think, is huge. One thing I really loved about Groove Cruise, which I talked about in the review, like there were just little touches, like even every line we waited on, there was always music or a DJ playing. They would bring out water to make sure you were staying hydrated. Like I just appreciated that they really cared for you, and they had those like little touches. They put like little Groove Cruise decor and like swag in our room that I didn't know we were getting. I thought that was a little nice touch. So little details are great, like having wonderful staff for ground control, accessibility, taking care of any of ravers who have disabilities, having ADA platforms, like all of that is important. It shouldn't be an afterthought. It shouldn't be something that like you have no budget for. Cleanliness is huge. Security that's friendly and not like abusing their power. Just showing that you care about the well-being of fans. I think the word of mouth of that will travel a lot further. And again, if we're going to justify the price of a festival, I'd rather go to a festival that's taking care of their fans than not, because that's one way to just not return. So that is everything, you guys. So much information this episode. I really hope that you have a better understanding of the cost of festival tickets. I'm sure this might be a little bit of a controversial episode, but I would absolutely love for you to sound off in the comments and let me know what you think. Again, everything I mentioned today, I know I had a lot of ads today, so if you guys want to support me and my channel, you can use any of my affiliate links that I mentioned. All of our social stuff will be linked down below. We are at Rave Culture Cast on all of the platforms if you want to connect with us. And like I mentioned, our new Rave Culture Cast contributor form is open if you guys want to apply for the program. Super excited about that. I am going to be traveling for Beyond Wonderland, and I'm traveling the following week, so give me some time to go through the applications and just like read through everything that comes through. But I'm super excited to kick that off and start this new era of Rave Culture Cast on social media. So thank you guys for even considering being a part of it. Love you all so much, and I will see you in my next episode or at Beyond Wonderland this weekend. Bye, guys.